What is going on, family? We are joined by a very special guest in the house today. We are here with Rena from Miamorii. How are you doing today, friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm hanging in there today. It's been a kind of a chaotic day. I feel like it's been kind of a little bit of a chaotic week, you know what I mean? But
Oh,
I'm
for
hanging in
sure.
there. I'm hanging in there.
Good. I'm glad.
Well, I'm glad that you're having a wonderful day. I guess my first question for you is just how can you tell me a little bit, because I know little bits about the band, but can you tell me a little bit about how Miamorii got started, and how just kind of the origin stories of how you guys got together as a group to become what we know as Miamorii today.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so um Kyle is the one who he came up with Miyamorii. It's his concept. He has the storyline. Like since we've all gotten together, we've all kind of chimed in here and there about like story and lore and stuff, but the Miyamorii story originated with Kyle. And he had the idea of like making, I think when he reached out to me, he called it a baddie core something bad.
That sounds like Kyle.
but but so yeah, so he had the whole concept. He knew what he wanted. He started like looking online for people, and he said he visited just a bunch of random, like he Reddit, obviously. I think he reached out to some people on other websites, reached out to a bunch of people trying to get a group together. He had found, I don't know who he found first, but there was one guy that ended up not staying. But he found Cam on Reddit, and then he found me. I had made this little profile on a site called Hendrix, and I made this like a little blurb like I wanna be a singer. And he found me on there and reached out. And then from there he found Nate, and I can't remember where he found Nate. I want to say Reddit again, but I'm not. I'll have to ask and let you know. But yeah, and then from that's kind of how we all came together. I think we all had, I mean, I know I had to audition, and I'm sure Cam had to be like, here's what I can do. But yeah, it was kind it's a fun thing because yeah, I almost didn't even email Kyle back when I had saw that he messaged me, because I was thinking like there's no, there's no way, but I was like, yeah, I'll give it a chance. And look now.
Right, and that's why I find you guys so interesting, because I think that you guys being because I think that all the members of the band are from different states, right? You guys all live in different
Hmm.
areas, so
Yep.
you guys already kind of are in a unique situation where you guys all found each other through basically the internet versus
Yeah.
in the way that you guys kind of all came together. But I think it's also kind of like interesting and wonderful because it's makes you guys unique and different with like your origin story of how the band just even came together in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's a because I don't know. It would have been. I used to think it would be really cool to like meet people and start like a local band and stuff. But with my schedule, it's just I was like, I can't. When am I gonna find time to be like I have to do band practice every Friday and be gone for hours or whatever? But I can do everything on my own time here at home, like
Yeah.
tracking vocals and stuff. I can do that at home. So yeah, I like what we are. Um, for now. It does make some things difficult, but I like it. I think it's
So,
working out
so
very well.
had you been and performed in any other bands before you had joined Miyamorii before, or is this like your first actual like
Nope.
official group that you've been a part of?
This this is my first anything. Before this, I had done like karaoke, and that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, you're braver than I am.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a singer by any stretch of the imagination, but I've gotten up a couple of times to do some karaoke. Mostly like I try to go more hip hop because it's not singing as much. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I do remember there was a song that people in one of the in one of your streams, people were saying Johnny Karaoke or something, and they were
Oh
trying to get you
yeah.
to sing some song, but I can't remember what one it was.
Yeah, every once in a while they'll put up something will come on that I'll know the song, and I always try hard not to sing along even if I know it, because I'm like I know I'm not a singer, so I'm like I'm just ruining what's already been
Oh,
made here.
ah,
So, but we keep toying around with the idea of maybe doing like a karaoke night or something on Discord as like as a group
Oh,
for the
that'd be
Foxtrot
funny.
family. So we might have some footage up there. Johnny maybe doing some karaoke one day. We might see it. We might see it.
Nice.
So when it comes to like your singing background and your vocal backgrounds, like what I guess my thought would be like, when you first ever thought about being in a band, was it always kind of more of this within this genre, or have you just always loved this genre and now you're a vocalist in this genre? Like, what can you talk a little bit about, like, what kind of bands you might have, what you envisioned yourself kind of being in? Was this kind of the thing?
This was not the thing. I used to want to do like singer-songwriter, acoustic guitar, like just me and my guitar, super soft, breathy vocals. There was like Nora Jonesy almost, just that
Okay.
very like pretty, like ooh, or uh I can't remember who it was. There was a song by Kate Earl, I think, and it was called Melody, and it's just so pretty and like that kind of stuff, just like soft, pretty, a little bubbly, soft vocals. That's what I always thought that I would do. I thought it would be me kind of solo or with a small band playing like acoustic or just soft music. And yeah, I didn't really get into anything heavy, really. I used to listen to, like in high school, my favorite song was whatever was number one on the radio. Like that was the music that I listened to. It was like the I can't remember the song. There was a Justin Timberlake song that was number one for a while, and I was like, yeah, this is my favorite. But
Oh, yeah,
I
I
think it
love me
was
some JT. I'm not gonna lie. I love me
I
some old school JT.
I know I do too, but yeah.
Yeah, he
Um
eventually fell off for me, honestly, but that's a whole different story.
I can't. It was something about summertime, and it was like, pull up to the red light, looking right, come here, let me get your name. Anyways, it was good, and I liked it. But I didn't know any music beyond that. It wasn't till like Third Eye Blind is when I really dove into a band, and they're still one of my favorites. They're so fucking good. But that was the first band that I literally like deep dove into, and I knew all their demos, I knew all their unreleased stuff. It like, yeah. But I didn't get into heavy music really at all. I liked The Used a little bit. In college, I think it was that I started kind of liking The Used. And then I guess Bring Me was the band that really got me into the heavy, and it was the Sempiternal album.
Yeah,
But
that's a great starting point for a lot of people with that band, for sure.
yeah, but that wasn't until like 5 years ago.
Hey, it's never too late to get into to just
No.
to get into something new. You know what I mean? So look
Yeah,
at where you
and
are now.
Yeah, and I should be more, but I am like listening to a lot more, because like for me right now, listening to music is like I'll listen to the updated versions of our tracks so that I can pick out like, okay, this needs to be, which when I say this needs to be tweaked or anything, I cannot hear the way Kyle can hear, like when he's listening. I can't hear mix unless it's something that's like so drastic that it's obvious. But for me, I'm just like, that sounded like a little bit like too loud. Or like I don't like how I sang that vocal line right there. We'll need to fix that. So like I just listen to our songs a lot. And then if I'm like listening to music, I will put on Bring Me the Horizon a lot. Or what else do I listen to?
You have very
I put
eclectic
on
taste for sure, because you've given me a couple of suggestions on streams before, and each song you ever gave me was a different style and sound. So it's very eclectic. So like that's why I find it interesting that like I never. I don't expect, you hear all these stories all these times from like, these artists where like, they're like in the heaviest of bands, but
Hmm.
all they listen to is the softest of music. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't feel like a lot of times, especially when it comes to like more hardcore or heavier music, a lot of times that's not really like what a lot of the people in those bands even listen to, especially daily. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
it's almost kind of like checking out your competition almost, and it's like there's a whole different like vibe to that whole entire
If
thing. So like it's, I don't know, I can see how there's such an opposite scale and effect of like what you would want to listen to versus what you create.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like I take a lot of like my when I write like a melody, I listen to like Spirit Box, for example. We've gotten compared to them a lot, and I can see it. We're a girl singing metal, but I love Spirit Box. That wasn't in any way like a negative thing. I'm just saying like we get compared to them a lot, but I feel like her melodies are so, I don't know, different than what I write, and it makes me wonder what she listened to or whatever. Like, I don't feel like I take inspiration from one certain thing. I just like write what comes to mind, but then I think about, well, all the music that I've listened to my whole life is what is influencing me when I'm writing these melodies, and I don't even realize it. So, there's one that I wrote that I was like, that sounds like Third Eye Blind. And I'm like, I wonder fucking why. But
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's the thing is like I think there's no one easy answer to that question. I feel like a lot of people ask that question, but I don't think it's an easy question to answer. Like when you say like what inspired you to write this, I think that there's normally a multiple factors. I think for anybody in the writing process where it's not just one thing. Or I heard this one time, or I was at this one moment in my life, and then this song happened. Like it's doesn't happen like that a lot. It's normally pulling from a lot of different times and feelings, emotions, memories. Like it's always different. So I think it's a hard question to really ask and to ask really anybody. But at the same time, I think it also is like pretty common, especially for someone in your position where it's like it's going to be a little bit of everything that pulls a lot of your inspiration that way. Sometimes it's going to be a old Third Eye Blind song, or it's going to be because you even just listened to a Spirit Box song because somebody compared you to them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
and honestly,
No, that's true.
and honestly, I really hate that comparison to the Spirit Box because honestly, to me, I feel like it's just, I hate the idea of like, okay, metal music, girl vocalist is just compared to the one that is, you know what I mean? And I hate the comparison, but I do think it's great for metal music or just really just hard rock music in general to see a lot more female vocalists being, especially the front people of bands, because we've had some where they're like kind of like part of the band, but they're not like the main, front
Yeah.
person. So I think that also in that comparison is probably a lot of why you might also get that too. But personally, I
Yeah.
hate comparing artists to each other because that's just my thing. I hate those comparisons, but at the same time, we do love Spirit Box around here. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the comparisons because I do that. Like when I hear, and it's not like a negative thing, but I'll be like, holy shit, this sounds like, or just a sliver of a piece of a song will remind me of something in another song, and the two songs might not be even remotely close to each other, but in my head, I'll be like, this reminds me of that. And I'll be like, oh, I can't. There was like not Taking Back Sunday, Hollywood Undead song that reminded me of a Creed song. And it was because they had a breathy female vocal in the background at one part in both songs, even though they were two totally huge. So now in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I always want to say Taking Back Sunday, Hollywood Undead, and fucking, I can't remember the band already that I just said, Creed. I was like, yeah, they're the same.
Could you imagine the Creed and Hollywood Undead tour? Could you imagine
Ooh.
those two fan bases meeting each other?
Oh boy, yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Oh man, that would be interesting. Okay, so I got a random question for you. Do you go to a lot of live shows, or are you a big fan of live music?
I love live music. I haven't gone to any shows recently. I don't have the money right now, so I don't
No,
go
I totally
currently.
understand
But
that.
I love going.
So okay, so it was that was more of my follow up question was to get to this question was, so are you the kind of person that when you go to a show, do you want to see like one, two, three bands that kind of remind me of the headliner, or do you like it when it's like almost polar opposites in the lineups?
Oh.
Because obviously in festivals you're gonna get everything, right?
You're
And then you
gonna
kind
get
of pick and
everything.
choose. But when you go to a show where there's gonna be three or
Yeah.
four playing, what do you prefer? Because I'm just curious.
I think it makes more sense to have bands that are like in the same like wheelhouse. Like there needs to be like some variation. Yeah. But I'll use for example, I went to see The Used and there was two openers. There was The Fever 333 and oh, what were they called? I'm gonna Google real quick.
No, you do that.
It was some band that it was like uh uh is there a band called Red Sun Rising? Because that's in my head, but I don't. Red
Maybe
Sun
I think that's a
Rising?
song title. I think Red Sun Rising might be a song title. Maybe it is a band name.
Okay. I don't know, but there was this and the sad thing is they weren't necessarily bad. They opened the show and it was like a snooze fest because people knew that what The Used is like. People knew what The Fever 333 was like, and they were off the walls. Like the singer from Fever 333 was like standing on top of their freaking. He was just all over the place. And this first band, they were just like the most like vanilla rock, and it was just like they're standing there and yeah, and nobody. It was kind of sad because nobody in the crowd was engaged. Everybody was just kind of like, "What the? Why are they here?" And it was so. I mean, I think in that case, don't put a snooze fest with with two really rowdy bands. But I think it's okay if there's a variation as long as they all have energy and uh can be good. And
No,
not put people to sleep.
there's been very few times where I've been to shows where I felt bad for the act on stage, where like afterwards, where it was just like
I felt
that was rough. You know what I mean? Where it's just like for the most part, like even though when you watch, I mean, as a crowd goer, you know what I mean, as a member of the crowd, like you can kind of tell when like the crowds are not that engaged, but the performance was still good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where sometimes it's just not your people. You're just not playing to your people that day.
That's exactly what it was.
There's only been like one time where go ahead.
Oh, I remember this because I was like, oh, but the singer guy after singing a song, he goes like thank you, this is our sophomore album, and somebody hollered, I hope it's your last, and I was like, oh, and you could hear it because it was so quiet in there, like.
So brutal.
I felt so
brutal.
bad.
Oh man, it's hard to play. And this was our big hit right afterwards. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just taking all the energy out the room that way, man. It's rough. That is rough. Yeah,
It was real rough.
I've been lucky in my concert going days where I just haven't had too many. I've seen acts where I was excited to see them, and maybe they were a little let down. I was a little let down on the live experience, but for the most part, like I'm able to kind of just appreciate for basically just a lot of times just the effort that the artists are giving out there. You know what I mean? Where especially if I already especially if I already knew your music, so but there's been so many bands out there that I've been a fan of just because I saw them for the first time in a live setting where I didn't know any of their music, and I'm like, oh, I become a fan of them. Holy Wars is a big specific one for me where I saw them open last year at a show, and I've been a huge fan of them like ever since. It was like every song that they played, I was like, man, I'm digging this. So like, it does happen for people, and I try to encourage people to definitely get out there and try to get to some live shows when they get the chances to, because I think it's important to just to have even those experiences. I try to go to as many cheap shows as I possibly can go.
The last show well, no, I've been to a couple since, but I was gonna go see Covet and fuck, I can't even, my brain, I tell you what, my brain does not work lately. I was gonna go see two bands in Grand Rapids at just a smaller venue there, and that was when COVID like hit kinda, so people were like still getting it quite often and whatever. Well, my husband got it, so then he couldn't go with me, and then my dad was like, "I'll go with you," and then he was like, "Oh, never mind, I'm in Massachusetts and I won't be home." So I had to I tried to find other people to go, but nobody could, and I ended up just selling my tickets because I was like, I don't want to go by myself. I like experiencing that with other people too. I think that's another fun thing.
So, can I ask you a question about Mia again? You guys call it Mia, right? That's how you shorten it, Miamorii.
Yeah.
So,
Mia.
what is the name specifically? Like, what does that even mean? I'm a complete idiot. If it's supposed to be some sort of part of Greek mythology that I missed and slept through, I don't know. But what does the name come from?
Okay, so Kyle explained. So first off, Miamorii doesn't, like, outside of our story, I don't think that really means anything. It's kind of close to like Mi Amor, which is like my love, but it's not. Like, that's not where we got it from. Kyle said that he was talking to one of his friends and said his friends tried to say the word memory, but he said it funky and it came out like Miamorii, like Miamorii. And Kyle, I guess, thought it sounded like Miamorii, and he was like, "That's pretty fucking sick." So then he took that name, and I don't know if he had at that time, if he had some of the story written and just didn't have a name, or if he got the name first and then wrote everything from there. But it's just the name. We have thought about toying with the idea of like the Maury part of it meaning something, but we're not sure yet. We're still, it's still, yeah. But as of now, Miamorii is just her name, and we shorten it to Mia. But
Gotcha. So yeah, so potential band lore to come, maybe with the Maury
yeah.
in the future. Awesome. So when you guys go into like the writing process, is it a little bit of ideas come from everybody? Like when I'm more interested specifically in like the lyrical side of the house, because I know there's a million different ways to make the songs themselves, and that's a lot of like the magic and how it gets created and all that, and that's all well and dandy for everybody because it's a little bit different for every artist, right? So I don't care too much about that side of the house, but my question is really more about the lyrical content. So like when we get to the lyrical content of like what the songs are going to be written about, what we're talking about, and like as we're going through that kind of process, can you explain a little bit of how we get to the lyrical side of the house?
Yeah. So it's once again kind of all over the place, but like, so we'll know what we, and again with kind of tying in with like what we have out already, everything's in the wrong order. Like the songs that we've released, they're not in order for how the lore goes. It just, that's how it happened because that's what we wrote first and like getting done first. But like lyrics, if we have an idea of what we want a song to be about, like we'll know like, oh, it's happening here in this part of the story. So like Welcome to My Hell, for instance, was the second song we put out. That song basically follows Covenant in the lore. So Covenant would happen first, and then Welcome to My Hell. But we just wrote them backwards because it's just it's just how what we get to first, I guess. But and that's just how it's happened, I suppose. But when we know what we want a song to be about, like I'll just tie back to or Welcome to My Hell, for instance. We were like, okay, this song's gonna be like maybe like an epic battle, maybe she's like whatever, but we just knew it was like a Mia is a badass anthem of sorts. Like that was gonna be like Mia fucking kicks ass. So it was all Yeah, we wanted lyrics about like Mia being like strong and like mad and she's gonna kill you, all that stuff. But we all work on it together. Like we have a tab in the Discord called Lyric Ideas where we can like put different things. Like I will generally do a lot of it. I did the chorus vocal, like the chorus lyrics, the verse lyrics. I think Kyle suggested tweaking them a little bit. He came up with a few lines for that song. It's like we all kind of will throw in ideas, but a lot of the time I'll have like a base written and then we'll stem off from that kind of. I also did most of a painting. Um yeah, I'm trying to think of what.
Okay. Well, yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense when with everything that you've been saying too. Where even with the order of the lore, right? Where if you kind of
Yeah.
have if you kind of have a story you're wanting to tell, there's multiple stories in chapters within that overall story. So sometimes we're most inspired by this particular chapter, and we're going to work on that one first. So it
Yeah.
totally makes sense
And
in terms of the placement and all that too.
that's true. And sometimes it'll just be really random. Like the song that we have coming up, that we're like almost done with. It was a song that Cam, he has like a folder of songs that he's written, and then I'll go through those and I'll like be like, oh, this one sounds good. Or if I have a melody idea in my head of like a vocal melody, I'll go through and I'll see if any of his songs I can work that into. Like that's how I started with a painting, is I had come up with that first little, if I spill your blood, we'll paint a picture. And I was like, I want to find a song that can fit that. So I found that one and I was like, oh, I can make this work. But the song that we have coming up is, I pulled it from his playlist because I really liked it. And I was like, all right, let's put some kind of words in here. And so I like wrote lyrics for it, sent it to him for ideas. And it ended up being, it was going to be about Mia wanting to get like, and it still kind of is. It was going to be mostly about her wanting out of where she's at, but then it turned into something even more as we wrote it. So that's happened a couple times too, is like as we work on things, the meaning will change and we'll add and or take out and or change things around as we go too. So it's a very hectic process, I tell you.
No, I will tell you for sure. I definitely can understand that because I mean I've had the pleasure of spending a little bit of time on stream with Kyle, and the one thing
Yeah.
I definitely learned from that is that Kyle is a bit of a perfectionist. Like when you talked earlier about how he'll hear certain things in the music that that other members of the band don't necessarily hear, especially like yourself, right? Everybody's different that
Oh,
way, and he is meticulous on like his aspect of like how he contributes to the songwriting process and all that. When he was
oh yeah.
showing me like, oh, this is what it was supposed to be and this is what I changed it to, and I was like, I don't even notice a difference, but I'm like, he's like, it makes it
But
10
you're
times
like,
more
yeah,
clear,
yeah.
and it's like it's gonna have more bang to it, like, oh, this, I'm like, I'm with you, bro. I thought it already sounded great, and like whatever you did, it sounded amazing.
No, I'm the same way. Yeah, like I think him and I were on like a chat the other night working on vocals, and I told him at one point, I was like, I have long since stopped doubting you. I said I completely trust the process. Like I know it's gonna turn out to be a banger. Like at this point,
Right.
there's no, yeah, like because he did Splinters and Covenant, and I feel like they sound, I don't want to say it like better than Welcome and a Painting, but like they sound pretty fucking good.
Well,
So,
it's honestly, I think it's like anything. The more that you guys do things, the more better it's gonna be. And I think everything is like with progression, right? Like not everybody comes out with like everything being like at 10 off the rip, unless there's a lot of like things behind the scenes to help get us there, right? Especially when a lot of
yeah.
everything that you guys are doing is all completely on your own independently this way, where it's impressive to show like growth from like one step to the next, like with each song that you guys are releasing. So I think that like you said, there is going to be like a difference between what you hear in your like earlier releases versus what you're releasing like now, and I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I thought about that too. It's like I wonder what it's gonna be like a year from now listening to. Oh, also I just wanted to add in, I don't know if I said Kyle did Splinters in a painting, but if I did, I meant to say he did Splinters in Covenant. Because I think, but anyways, like a year from now, listening back to these tracks, are we gonna be like, why the fuck did we do that? Like, why did we put this here? Or is it gonna stand? Are we gonna be like, yeah? I personally think that they're gonna be good. Like, I still listen. I love our songs. I don't know if that's weird to say, but I really do. Like, I don't know. I'm quite uh thrilled, I guess, with how everything has been going. It's it's really really fucking cool, and it's been really really fun. But yeah,
Well,
I
I
don't know
definitely
if listening back it's gonna be different or not.
I think it's definitely awesome to hear that you like your songs because I feel like that's
I do.
that's the first step, right? Is like if we don't like it, why would anybody else like it? So
Right,
it's
yeah,
awesome to
right.
believe in yourself. And I'm as the fan in the room here, I would say I think you guys' songs are great too. Every time you
Oh,
guys get
thank
ready
you.
to release something, I'm excited about it. So I think you mentioned earlier that you guys were getting ready to maybe film a music video or something that was coming up.
Yeah. Well, thank you, by the way, for liking our songs. I'm glad. Thank you. But yeah, we I should say have been kind of tasked with finding somebody to shoot a video for us, because it's gonna be like just me in the video, because it's just like a solo performance of Mia, I suppose. So I have found who's gonna shoot it. I found a location. I've got everything all worked out, and on August 23rd, I will be starring in a music video. Well, but
Nice.
so then after that, and this is for the new song that we're working on. That's like this close to being done. But that also means that the song won't get released until the music video is done too. So it probably we're guessing that it'll be like mid to late what month is it right now? August. So September. It'll be like mid to late September when the next
Okay.
song and video are coming out together. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Awesome! I can't wait to
But
check it out. It's going. I would have. It's exciting because like it's Halloween's right around the corner, and Miamorii is an already kind of like got this like dark, a creepy Halloweeny kind of vibe to the band already.
yeah.
So like anything coming out from you guys is a good time of year for something like this. So
I actually didn't put that together, but there is gonna be like a scene in the video where I'm like laying in like blood and kind of some like goopy stuff. So, which
awesome,
sounds like it's
awesome.
gonna be like a terrifying video. It's not, but that is gonna be in there. So that kind of correlates with the spooky Halloween, I guess.
Right.
I didn't think of that. That's funny.
Yeah, I guess I didn't imagine your guys' videos being like uber gruesome and bloody. So when you said like, "Oh, I'll be covered in blood and stuff," I was like, "It's probably gonna be fire." I didn't think like it's gonna be extreme, like off the rip. Some artists you think, "Oh, it's gonna be extreme," then you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
don't know. I think it's gonna be good. It'll be good. That's all.
I think so. I think you guys did really well with like the music video that you guys did for "Welcome to My Hell." And
hmm
that's simple concepts, and I'm a big fan. Again, I think I said it in the reaction that I did for that one, where again when you can make simple concepts interesting, and like just the way that the lighting was done in the video and all
Yeah.
that, I think it was just done really really well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited for a new video.
I agree, and that's like that's kind of what we want this next one to be, because like I made a comment to the person that is going to be filming it for us. I said, like, explaining the concept to him, I said this is a very small chunk of a very huge story. So like this particular piece of the story doesn't have to be extravagant. Like we can
Mhm.
make it interesting, we can make it cool, we can make it like we can have diverse shots throughout the thing. It's just not going to be like a movie. Like you're not watching a side, or what is it, like side plot A and side plot B and then main story. Like it's gonna be just a solo performance of Mia, and hopefully I should say hopefully we can make it interesting, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think what's been cool about your guys' music so far is it's been like a little bit of a range with each thing that you guys have dropped. Like, you know, you'll have like in one song, you'll have like elements of like, you know, more heavier sounds, but then like more softer, like more piano kind of like inspired music. So, and then you have like full, like full steam ahead with like splinters type shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like there's a little bit of everything with what you guys have been giving us. So like, you know, it's seeing something different and unique from what you guys have given us before, and like the more recent drops that you guys have had. Again, this will just be like the next chapter of like something new, unique and different that Miamorii does. So I think I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. What when I like I guess we still talk about it, but we've been busy like with what we've been working on, so we haven't really ventured out, I suppose. I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, but like we want to do different genres. We want to do like EPs of like, oh, this EP is going to be like EDM, more, you know, or whatever. This one's going to be fucking country. Like I don't think
someone's gonna hold you to the EDM album.
Yeah. No, I don't think that extreme maybe, but like we want to have different themed EPs. So yeah. So but us already putting out some like couple variations, I think, is a good start to like where people won't listen to us for one single sound. Like we already have a couple different sounds, so hopefully people are like, oh, okay, so they're gonna be doing different things.
And this goes right back to that conversation we had earlier about hating to compare artists to each other, because as soon as we're like, oh, you're like a spirit box, then everything's got to sound like that. Exactly. Maybe I don't want to. Maybe this is only a couple of songs that are going to remind you of a spirit box. Maybe I got 5 other songs that remind you of a different artist in a completely different genre. So
watch out! Here comes Taylor Swift. We're gonna release a song. Wait a minute! They sounded like Spirit Box last month. Why do they sound like Taylor Swift this month?
Oh man, you know, inspirations come from many places. You know what I mean?
I mean, I like Taylor Swift. I'll do a cover of her songs. That'd be funny.
I will never say. I mentioned her name one time in a video, and it wasn't even in any sort of negative fashion, but it wasn't necessarily in a positive one. So if it doesn't equal like positive, it equals like, oh, that must be bad then. So I'll never say anything negative about that girl ever again on the internet. No, shout out to Swifties.
I respect
you know what I mean?
The hell out of her. Yeah.
Oh, she's incredible. She's incredible. What she has achieved in like her as a songwriter, as just like the talent and success that she has obtained in her life is remarkable. You know, she's the biggest American superstar of at least my generation. So she's fucking insane. and you know, and you gotta give it to people like her when you're doing like 3-hour shows. You know what I mean? Like when you're doing like stadium runs and you're playing for like 3 hours, like you're built a little different, and you got to respect that. Despite how you feel about what kind of music she makes, you got to respect the fact that she's a performer and she's a good one. She's a really good one.
For sure. I can't imagine. I've like I said earlier, this is my first band ever. This is my first time. So it's like, I don't know how to perform live. Like I have to learn all these things still. We're not live ready yet. We're hoping to be like maybe next summer, but it's like I have to learn all this. I have to learn how to walk around and sing at the same time. Yeah. And then she's out here running on a treadmill and singing 44 songs. It's like, I'll get there someday. I'll get there.
I have all the faith in you. I have all the faith in you. I can't wait till you guys start doing some live shows, because even when you guys start doing just some local stuff, I'm going to have to come make a trip out there and see wherever you guys are playing at. Because wherever you guys are, because I think the furthest person is you got somebody like really west, don't y'all? Like
we got somebody in California.
All right, yeah. So yeah, if you're doing shows out in Cali, that might be a little bit harder to get to. But if you're like, you know, maybe I don't know, New York, Ohio, Michigan, anywhere within 8 hours of like Philadelphia, I'm definitely there. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I think most likely. I really shouldn't say because I don't have any clue, really. I guess it's just going to depend on how things go. But I would imagine that New York would be where we would first, because Kyle's drums are there, and I feel like it would be smarter for us to like go there and look. I don't know though. I really don't know. I don't know.
When you guys start announcing live dates and live shows, I will definitely make sure that I make the trek out there for sure. I gotta be there and gotta see you guys play, and definitely go show some support. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, I spent 2 hours. I spent 2 hours with Kyle talking about mixing. So, and I've never done that with anybody in my life. So I gotta go see you guys play.
That was so cool. Thank you for doing that. That was pretty sweet. I remember watching that, and I think my dad was watching it too. And my little boy was with my parents, and he was like texting me. My dad was texting me, or no, fucking hell. I'm sorry, my brain. I think my son was texting me on my dad's phone or something, and he's like, I can see your name on there. Like he was watching me type or something. I was like, oh, that's so cute. But anywho, back. Thank you for doing that. That was really cool, is what I'm trying to say.
It's no problem at all. No problem at all. Like he was definitely getting into his bag where I had no idea what he was talking about. Where I was like, this is definitely beyond my knowledge of what he means. But I definitely feel like I learned a lot about writing music and just the mixing process for Sora. Because I knew a little, but he gets really in detail, basically like every section and part of like how one song comes together. And I think a lot of people don't understand that there's so much of that happens behind the scenes before you ever will even hear it.
Oh yeah, so. I had absolutely no clue, and I really still don't. Like I'm useless when it's like when we're. I don't want to say useless, but I always tell Kyle like I'm sorry that all I can give you like mix wise is feedback on like, well, this sounds a little bit fuzzy, or I think it pauses too long here. I can't, like I said, I can't hear that. Like, oh, the low end is really high. I'm like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. I feel bad. But we got Cam, though. Cam's fucking great he can hear all that shit, too. So they will tweak out all those things. And I'm just like, I don't like the vocals at 245. I'm going to redo those. That's where I come in and help.
You know, sometimes it's easier just to do what you're asked and then being a part of how the sausage is made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would. Oh yeah, if I was given like free range on that, I think I would just tank his whole system. He'd have to buy a new computer. I'd be like, I don't know what I did, but it's gone. It's all gone.
Yeah, and I think that what's so amazing about basically your guys' entire band is all of you guys are like self-taught, like in everything that you guys have done. Like nothing came with like this ultimate crazy background, and to come as far as you guys have come, especially like even with Kyle, with just like the mixing aspect of like, well, if someone's gonna do it, then I'm gonna learn how to do it. Like that's insane, and he's good, and he's really good.
He's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blew my mind away when he told me. I'm like, oh yeah, I had no idea about any of this stuff. Like I knew like about it, but I was like, I taught myself everything. I was like, whoa, I was like, holy shit, bro. Like, you know, imagine how good you're gonna be at this 10 years from now. And like, if you're this good today, imagine how good you're gonna be in 10 years. Because I'm like, again, that progression from one to the next, like it's. And I would have never guessed that somebody who was self-mixing in the way that you guys have, like from like your first early records, were this much of a time of learning how to do that. It's really impressive.
I can't. Yeah, he blows my freaking mind with that shit. But we had put let me start over. We had submitted Welcome to My Hell to some I think it was Glenn something on, but like a mix review guy, and this was like when it was before it was released. It was in the process of being written, and we submitted it, and Kyle like chimed in and said, hey, this is like my first real mix. And there was people in the chat going like, no fucking way this is your first mix. Like, I don't believe you, because they're like, it's too good to be a first mix. And he's like, but Kyle, he doesn't take that and be like, oh sweet. He goes, no, I need to find somebody that's going to give me feedback. So then he'll go and he'll hunt out somebody giving him like, well, maybe tweak this. Like that's what he hunts for. And maybe that's why he's so good, is because he doesn't take that, oh, it's good from like a couple people. He
He
hunts it
wants to
out.
hear. He wants to hear from
Like,
somebody that tells him this isn't good enough. You know what I mean?
yes,
So how
yes,
do I get
exactly.
to? I totally respect that. Totally respect that. But he does need to take the pat on the back that he did a great job, a great fucking job on his first mix.
He did.
So, but again, I think that just kind of shows to the overall talent pool of your guys' band, where it's like, that's kind of the individuals that you guys are as people, where we're not taking it for it's good enough. Like, we want to know, how do we make it that much better, and how do we just grow from day to day about being better at the little things that come along with being a band at the same time. Because I think that I see that from each member of the band from like a distance as a fan kind of thing. I see you guys all doing kind of the same things that way. So I think it's just really great. I'm just really excited for your guys' future. I think you guys are going to be awesome. I think you're already awesome. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You're just not out there playing shows yet, but I already think you guys are awesome.
I think I'm really excited for shows. I'm nervous, but I'm very, very excited. I think it's going to go really well. But we'll see.
Hopefully.
I think that'll open up.
I'm gonna cross my fingers for next year. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Me too. That's gonna open up a lot for us too, because like right now it's like we're all in different states. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think getting together and like playing live is gonna open some more doors for us as well. So I'm excited for that.
Well, one thing I think has been cool that you guys have been kind of doing is like, especially like on your guys' social media, is like showing up little teasers of kind of your guys' time together when you guys are getting in, recording sessions and stuff in the same places. And, I think that seeing your guys' even just talking to you on an individual level when talking to Kyle, I can see how you guys get along. Your personalities and your sense of humors are similar. So it's like, you can see the connection between the band, you guys, even from a distance. When you guys are together, that's where the magic is really happening. So it's you can see that from a distance as well.
Oh yeah, I say all the time how lucky I got, because like my husband has a friend who's like in a band, and he was like, this is her first band, and they're like, they're I just got so lucky because we all, like you said, like Kyle and I have super similar sense of humor. Like Cam is just a freaking giant goofball. He's 19, he's like a little baby. But sorry Cam. But
shout out to Cam.
Sorry. And Nate fits right in. Like we get along really, really well. And it's been such a fun experience, and I know I can like be goofy and be weird and stuff, and I don't have to be like, oh, sorry. Yeah, it's been really fun. I got very lucky is what I'm saying, that we all get along so well and are able to make what we make with everybody having such little experience, I guess. Well, yeah. Kyle, I guess, he was in a band before this, and Cam was in a band before this. But as far as Kyle's mixing experience, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You guys have come a long way in a very short distance. So, and you guys have faced a lot of adversity in the fact of, like, again, from becoming complete strangers to becoming a band, from basically such a distant relationship this way. Again, I think for me is just very unique and different. So I think it's awesome that you guys have been able to basically put this all together and keep this whole thing running, because it's like, as a fan of the band and as a fan of what you guys are doing, like, I'm only like excited for the future. And I think that's all what anybody really like is coming to find and connect with your guys' band, is just like, oh, I can't wait for the next thing that they're going to do and see what they're going, and as they continue to keep going down this path. So I'm very excited about it. I know I just keep saying that, but I'm very excited about your guys' future.
Well, thanks. I'm excited too. We're all very excited. But
well, I definitely want to thank you again for spending time with me today. This was a lot of fun, getting to talk to you and get to know you a little bit better. So I definitely want to appreciate you for stopping by and hanging out with us in the Foxtrot family for sure. Because, we're a bunch of goofballs over here too.
Sorry, the first half of the stream was so freaking, or I guess not stream, the first half of the video, I was just a sweaty, sunny mess. So I do apologize. Next time I will be more put together. But yeah, thank you for having me on. This was really fun. Hopefully we can set up a time with all of us. Like you said, have Kyle and Cam and Nate and everybody here to all chat together.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, next time you guys get together, just for sure let me know, and we'll definitely set something up so that way we can talk to the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get all the personalities in the same room. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you again for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you.
Yeah.